I had a question asked of me the other day, and it just said, how do you come up with motivation to keep writing? Now, I'm sure if you do a Google search, you will find a lot of, articles, videos, and all those different things on how to come up with motivation for writing. But I'm just going to ignore all that because, like everybody has a butthole, everybody has an opinion on motivation. And, as someone who writes a daily email and who at the moment is showing up regularly to do these videos, motivation is something that a lot of people will use as an excuse for not doing anything. Now, what I mean is, you'll find people that will say, oh, I need to be motivated today to do writing, I need to be motivated today to do exercises, I need to be motivated. And what they're doing is they're putting that motivation excuse in front of what they need to be doing. And if you think of us, how many times are we really motivated to do something? You may be motivated at the start of a diet, you may be motivated at the start of a book, you may be motivated to record a couple of videos, but over time, that motivation kind of goes down. So in that case, a lot of people will just drop whatever they're doing and just find something else that might inspire them for another while, and then they'll do that for a while and then they'll drop that. So they're constantly just start, because they haven't got the motivation to keep going. So instead of looking for motivation, I think you should just try to create a habit instead. Now, if I relied on motivation for every day I turned up to do these videos, I would probably only have a quarter of these done, because some days I'm lying in bed, and even though I do need to walk the dog, some days I would rather just leave this camera at home, not create a video, because it's the easiest thing to do. I just couldn't be bothered, and I'll come up with tons of excuses why I don't need to do it. Take the day off, and you've already done loads, why would you need to do another one today? Just take a break. But sometimes you'll find that those those are the days when you really need to do it the most. Those are the days where you need to push yourself over the hump, because sometimes what happens if you take a day off, that day runs into 2 days. How many times have we had maybe a plan to exercise regularly or something like that, and we take a day off because we've been good or whatever, and then suddenly the next session comes up and then say, well, we missed that one the other day, maybe you should just take another day off, give my body a rest or something like that. And you come up with excuses for why you need to take another day off, and then slowly you'll find that 1 becomes 2, becomes 3, and then all of a sudden you're completely dropping out of your routine that you had before. So rather than looking for motivation to write, exercise or anything like that, try and make it part of your daily routine. So every day I get up, at the moment I'm getting up at about 7 o'clock or so, which isn't too early compared to what other people do, but I get up at that time and I might have a cup of coffee, and then I will go down and I'll take Summer out for a walk. So as I'm walking every day, because she is a border collie, she loves walking, so we are out here regularly, I know that I'll be out walking with Summer. So the next thing I need to do is just take this camera with me, turn it on and start recording these videos. So as I said, there are some days when I'm not motivated to do that. Now, I can, if I found some article on Google or YouTube or whatever, it would talk about visualizing and picture how great it would be to have that thing completed. Now, in my case here, I have this picture and idea that I would love to do maybe 2 videos a day, and by the end of the year, I would have a huge video playlist on YouTube. So I would have, over 700 videos if I keep doing that every day. Now, I can have that picture in my mind, kind of like a carrot that's leading me forward, that says, in a year from now, Barry, you're going to have 700 videos and that's going to be amazing. But from where I am right now at the moment, I probably have recorded maybe 20 something videos, so I am well away from that 700 target. And because I'm so far away from it, my point A compared to point B is huge, and it's very easy for me to say, well, 700 is a big number, am I ever going to get that far? Am I ever going to get all those videos done? And again, you will find you'll start talking yourself down. I'll take a day off, sure, maybe I'll do 4 videos on some day, and take a day off, and so I'll make up for maybe another day, I'll record extra videos to get me closer to that 700. And then, as I said, you will find that I'll probably drop out and not do it. So what I'm doing is, rather than focus on motivation or looking for ways to motivate myself, I'm not giving myself an excuse, I'm not giving myself a get out clause. Every day I get up, I take the dog for a walk, I'm going to take this phone with me, and I'm going to record 2 videos. And in a year from now, as I said, I'll have over 700 videos, which I can turn into podcast episodes. But it's also going to be content on my blog, and I'm going to put it in loads of places to get as much eyeballs on me as possible. So whatever you're thinking of doing, rather than looking for motivation, if you find yourself reading loads of books on motivation and on procrastination, you have to look at that and say, well, I'm reading books on procrastination because I'm procrastination. I'm not motivated because I'm wasting my time over here reading books on motivation. So rather than wasting your money and wasting your time on those different things, get into the habit of doing what you need to do daily, because you're not going to want to do this every day. You're going to be days when you want to take it off. There's going to be days when you're not going to want to write. You're not going to be inspired. It's going to seem like a huge hurdle. You're going to be like me. You might be maybe 20 pages in of a 700 or 800 page book, and that end result seems so far away from where you are that it makes you want to quit. But if you do it, as Rocky said in the movie, I think it was the last Rocky movie, or the last Creed movie, he says a boxing match is done one step, one punch, one round at a time. So rather than thinking of the whole boxing match from start to finish, and maybe the 12 rounds or whatever it is that you need to go through, break it down to its smallest piece. One step, one punch, one round at a time. So every day, sit down and do your writing, whatever you need to do, or record your videos, or whatever it is that you need to do, but break it down into a daily routine that you do, that you're not going to give yourself an excuse of. Now, another thing you can do to keep reminding yourself to do it daily is to do something that Jerry Seinfeld had mentioned, and what he had done to become the comedian that he was. He used to write out jokes by hand, so he'd get an idea of, what a joke was, how it was written, and how, whatever way it was that he needed to get better at his joke writing. So what he would do is he would write down jokes every day, but more importantly, he had a calendar and a big red marker, and he had the calendar on the wall, and he would mark off a big red X on that day's work. And he found that over time, it wasn't just one X, it was 2 X's, and then week after week and month after month. So he had this long string of X's going through the year. And what his plan was, or the thing that kept him going, was he would never break that chain. That chain would not have any empty space in it. So from January 1st all the way through to December 31st, it would have red X's the whole way through the year. And that's because he was showing up every day. And the last thing he'd want to do is get maybe 2 months into it or 6 months into it and take a day off because he felt lazy or he wasn't motivated or anything like that, and it would break that chain. And once that chain was broken, he was back at day one again. He couldn't include those days that he had done in the days and weeks and months previously. So that could be another thing you'd want to try out if you aren't motivated, is to do something like Jerry did with the calendar and the red X's, and try and keep that chain going for as long as you can. Try not to break it, because if you do, you have to go back to zero again. So you're probably well aware, if you've been doing something for 6 months or so, the last thing you'd want to do is to, lose all that progress that you're doing. So that could be something you could try. So, as I said, rather than looking for motivation, reading books and procrastination, or whatever it is that you're wasting your time on, break it down into a daily routine. And maybe even better, do it first thing in the morning, like I'm doing here at the moment. If I left these videos later on in the day, something could come up. Something could come up at home. I mightn't have the time to do it. Some emergency might come up, and I wouldn't have the time. So rather than waiting for later on in the day to do whatever you need to do, get up earlier, do it first thing in the morning, and get it done and dusted. So whatever happens during the rest of the day, you can sleep content that night, or you can, no matter what happens, as I said, you can end that day knowing that you have done your daily work, and that day has been a good day, even if the rest of the day has been a complete sham or everything has fallen apart. So that is my advice on motivation. Now you can go to Google, or you can go to YouTube, and you can look up all these different techniques and all those different things, and visualize and all this crack. But as I said, this is what works for me. Having a routine, following it day after day. Then again, I'm probably somebody who thrives on routine. I don't really like change. I like doing the same thing over and over again. Some people aren't like that. Sometimes they need a little bit of, something to make a difference. So see what works for you, but that is what I'm using at the moment to get these videos, and all going well. a year from now we'll be looking at a 700 video playlist over on YouTube, and these could be podcast episodes, and again it's content for my blog as well. So if you'd like to know more about me or the blog that I'm posting all these videos on, you're very welcome to come over to writecome.com. That's WRITECOME.com, and you'll find all my training courses on self-publishing and content creation and promotion and emails and all those different things, all the good stuff. You'll find that over on the website. Now if you'd like to ask me a question or something maybe that I could tackle in a future video, don't hesitate to send me an email. You can find me at barryjmcdonald@gmail.com, and you'll give me a question or whatever, and I'll see if I can maybe tackle it in a future video. So as always, thanks for sharing your time with me again today, and take care and have a great day. Bye bye.